Have you ever looked at your life and quietly asked yourself, is this it? Not in anger, not in blame, just that haunting whisper of disappointment. You had dreams once. Visions of doing something great. Of living with purpose, freedom, and peace. But somewhere along the way, you started shrinking. You began surviving instead of creating. And deep down, you know something's missing. You pray. You wait. You try to stay positive. But the pressure keeps building. The bills, the deadlines, the frustration, it piles up while your dreams gather dust. Here's a question no one ever asks you: what if you were never meant to just survive? What if you were designed to shape your reality with clarity, focus, and bold action? Not by chance. Not by luck. But by conscious direction. You've been given something powerful, something few ever learn how to use. The ability to imagine, believe, and build a life that reflects your inner vision. The problem? Most people spend their lives using that power against themselves, feeding fear, rehearsing failure, and living by default instead of design. Today, we're going to change that. This video isn't about empty motivation. It's about unlocking the creative force that's already within you, and learning how to finally take command of your life. If you're searching for the keys to unlock your future, you're in the right place. Let's open the vault. From a young age, we're trained to follow instructions, obey rules, and play it safe. We're told to wait for permission. To blend in. To stay realistic. And slowly, we stop thinking for ourselves. We stop questioning the life we're handed. We begin to believe that maybe struggle is just normal. Maybe anxiety is just adulthood. Maybe purpose is just a luxury. But none of that is true. You were not built to drift. You were designed to build. Inside you is the same force that architects use to design cities, that artists use to paint visions, that leaders use to reshape entire cultures. The ability to think with clarity, speak with intention, and act with purpose. But here's the catch: if you don't use that ability deliberately, it doesn't disappear, it just turns against you. You start building anxiety. You start constructing chaos. You become the builder of the very prison you feel trapped in. You're not broken. You're simply misdirected. You don't need to become someone else. You need to remember who you already are, and take responsibility for how you've been using your mind, your focus, and your energy. Because every thought is a blueprint. Every word is a brick. Every action is a tool. And right now, whether you know it or not, you're building something. So ask yourself this: are you building a future that reflects your highest potential, or one that protects your fears? Once you become aware of your role, not as a victim, but as a builder, everything begins to shift. You stop waiting for life to change, and start constructing it from the inside out. There is a pattern to how powerful things are made. Whether it's a building, a business, or a life, you'll always find the same sequence: thought, word, action. It's the quiet law behind everything you admire. Nothing meaningful is created by accident. First, someone imagined it. Then they spoke it into focus. Then they moved. With precision. With purpose. But most people reverse this formula. They act out of reaction, speak without direction, and think with fear. And then they wonder why life feels chaotic, why progress is so slow, why clarity is always out of reach. If you want to build anything powerful, this formula has to become sacred. You think with vision. You speak with intention. You act with discipline. Step 1: think clearly. Most people don't get what they want because they've never defined what it is. I want success is not a clear thought. What does success look like? What does it feel like? Vague thinking produces vague results. Precise thinking starts the construction. Step 2: speak intentionally. Words are not just noise. They're instructions to your subconscious. When you say, "I can't," you're programming failure. When you say, "I'm figuring it out," you're designing momentum. Speak in alignment with where you're going, not where you've been. Step 3, act deliberately. The smallest step toward your vision is more powerful than the biggest thought without action. You don't need to leap. You need to move forward. Today. When your thoughts match your words, and your words are backed by action, you become aligned. And when you're aligned, resistance fades, clarity sharpens, and the life you imagine begins to show up, not someday, but now. Your entire life is being shaped by one thing: the commands you give your mind. Not the ones you say once. The ones you repeat, consciously or unconsciously, every single day. Your mind is not a passive listener. It's the control room of your life. And it's always working. Always building. Always responding to the signals you send it. Here's the hard truth: most people are unintentionally programming themselves to lose. Every time you say, "I'm stuck, I'm not good enough, I always fail," your brain listens, and builds accordingly. You're not just thinking negatively. You're giving orders. And your subconscious is following them to the letter. But here's the breakthrough: you can reprogram it. You can change the signal. And once the signal changes, the output, the results, the emotions, the actions, change too. Modern neuroscience has proven this. When you visualize success with clarity and consistency, your brain begins forming new neural pathways. It treats the imagined future like a real memory. And it starts guiding your decisions to make that imagined future a reality. That's not wishful thinking. That's mental architecture. You are the architect. Every thought you feed yourself is a design. Every belief is a foundation. And every emotion you rehearse is a layer of concrete hardening beneath your identity. So, here's your challenge: become intentional with what you think, say, and imagine. Don't just hope things change. Give your mind new instructions, and repeat them until they become automatic. If you don't take control of the command center, someone else will. A voice from the past. A fear from your childhood. A doubt planted by someone who gave up on themselves. Your life isn't created by accident. It's created by command. There's a voice in your head that's not your friend. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It says things like, "You're not ready. Start tomorrow. What if you fail?" And it sounds so reasonable that you believe it. You delay. You distract yourself. You shrink. That voice isn't fear. It's sabotage. And its goal is simple: keep you stuck where you are. It shows up when you decide to start. It shows up when you finally feel momentum. And if you're not prepared, it wins. Not by force, but by convincing you to pause, just long enough to kill your progress. This internal enemy is the master of almost. Almost started the business. Almost finished the course. Almost changed your life. But nothing changes when you live in almost. Here's the truth: the enemy isn't outside you. It's the thought patterns that run on autopilot. It's the habits of delay, the addiction to comfort, the pull of distraction. Every time you scroll endlessly, binge noise, or wait for the perfect time, you're feeding it. Strengthening it. And the longer you wait to move, the louder it gets. But there's a way out. The enemy of delay can't survive momentum. Even one tiny action toward your vision, one email, one workout, one call, starts to starve it. Every time you act, the voice gets weaker. Every time you decide, the fog lifts. You don't have to feel confident. You just have to move before doubt finishes its sentence. Because silence is a trap. Distraction is a drug. And delay is the doorway to regret. You want freedom. You earn it one focused moment at a time. There's a moment in every transformation when everything changes, and it doesn't happen when life gives you a chance. It happens when you make a decision. Not a preference. Not a hope. A real decision. One with no escape hatch. The kind of decision that doesn't ask, what if I fail, but declares, this is who I am now. Most people never reach that moment because they're waiting for the world to change first. For the signs. For the certainty. But the truth is, the world bends to clarity. The universe doesn't move until you do. You don't need a 10-step plan. You need one word. That word is your personal decree. It's your internal command to the mind, the body, and every part of you that's been drifting. What is that word for you? Is it freedom? Discipline? Peace? Abundance? Choose it. Not tomorrow. Now. Let it be the word that shapes every action you take from this point forward. Write it somewhere you'll see it. Speak it out loud. Let it anchor you when distractions come. Let it guide you when the road feels unclear. This isn't woo-woo. This is mental targeting. Your brain is a GPS, it needs a destination. Without one, it loops in circles. But when you lock in a word with emotional weight, your thoughts begin to align. Your choices sharpen. Your focus becomes a laser. That's the power of decision. It narrows your path. It removes what doesn't match your word. It makes action simpler, not easier, but clearer. And once you make that kind of decision, quietly, internally, and completely, your entire life begins to reorient around it. One word. One moment. One future. What's yours? Once you've made your decision, once you've chosen your word, you need to protect it. Because the world is loud. Your old patterns are persistent. And doubt doesn't knock once, it keeps circling the block. That's why you need a mental fortress. A system. Tools that anchor your focus and reinforce your vision every single day. Not once in a while. Daily. Like brushing your teeth, but for your future. Let's break it down. Tool number 1, the daily decree. Write a single sentence in the present tense that reflects the life you're building. Example, I'm grateful for the freedom and clarity that guide me every day. Speak it out loud every morning and every night. This isn't about magic. It's about repetition. Your subconscious mind obeys what it hears consistently, especially when it's emotional and intentional. Tool number 2, mental rehearsal. Close your eyes for 60 seconds and imagine one scene, something that would happen after your goal is achieved. Picture the conversation, the environment, the emotion. Feel it. The mind doesn't distinguish between imagined experience and lived reality. Visualization is mental conditioning. It builds confidence before the result arrives. Tool number 3, the focus filter. Before you consume anything, news, media, a conversation, ask, does this support the future I'm building? If it fuels anxiety, comparison, or distraction, cut it. You can't grow a powerful mind on a diet of noise. Guard your inputs. They shape your thoughts. And your thoughts shape everything. These tools are simple. But they're not small. They're bricks. And if you use them daily, they become walls, protecting your energy, your vision, and your mind from the chaos outside. The world rewards those who know what they want and reinforce it with relentless clarity. Your vision is sacred. Build around it accordingly. There's a chemical in your brain that determines what you chase, what excites you, and what you stay focused on. It's called dopamine. Most people think dopamine is about pleasure. It's not. It's about pursuit. It's the chemical that says, keep going. You're getting closer. It was designed to move you toward meaningful progress, learning, building, growing. But here's the problem, the modern world hijacks your dopamine. It floods you with artificial hits, likes, clicks, sugar, gossip, binge content. Cheap dopamine. Short-term spikes that trick your brain into feeling productive while pulling you away from your purpose. And the more you consume it, the less motivation you feel for anything real. Here's what no one tells you, you can retrain your dopamine system. You can rewire your brain to crave growth instead of noise. But it takes discipline, dopamine discipline. Step 1, reframe the struggle. When things feel hard, when you want to quit, remind yourself, this is where real reward begins. Growth doesn't feel like entertainment. It feels like resistance. Push through it anyway. You're teaching your brain to link effort with fulfillment. Step 2, celebrate completion, not distraction. When you finish something meaningful, pause. Don't immediately scroll or numb out. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Say, this is what progress feels like. You're rewiring your brain to love effort. Step 3, fast from the fake. Choose one day a week to cut out artificial dopamine, no social media, no junk food, no mindless noise. It'll be uncomfortable at first. But that discomfort is your system resetting, your focus rebooting. Dopamine is not your enemy. It's your engine. But only if you take the wheel. Train it. Guide it. And soon, you'll crave the very actions that move you closer to the life you want. There's a moment when everything clicks. Your vision is clear. Your mind is focused. Your body moves without hesitation. You're not battling yourself anymore, you're in sync. This is alignment. And it's where real power lives. When your spirit knows what it's here to create. When your mind stays locked on that vision without drifting. And when your body takes daily action in that direction. You become unstoppable, not because life gets easier, but because you've removed the internal conflict. This is what top athletes call flow. What artists call the zone. It's that rare state where time bends, effort disappears, and results accelerate. But you don't get there by accident. You get there by consistency. By living in agreement with your deepest intention. Your spirit carries your purpose, your why. Your mind holds the plan, your thoughts, focus, and emotional drive. And your body takes the action, one small, courageous step at a time. When those three forces move together, life feels different. The fog lifts. The doubt fades. You stop chasing things, and start attracting them. The right people show up. Ideas click. Doors open, not because they magically appear, but because you're finally moving toward them with clarity and confidence. And here's the most beautiful part, you don't have to be perfect to live like this. You just have to be aligned. Clear in what you want. Committed to your tools. Willing to move when others hesitate. The pain that once held you down becomes fuel. The fear that once controlled you becomes quiet. You stop surviving and start building. This is the version of you the world is waiting for. Not more talented. Not more lucky. Just more aligned.